Microsoft's new gaming cloud division readies for a future beyond Xbox, and we're growing our gaming business beyond the console. These are two articles, one by gamesindustry.biz and another by theverge.com, that I'm sure a lot of Xbox fans are digesting and dissecting and trying to figure out exactly what they mean. And I'm going to talk about both articles right now in this video, so this video might be pretty long, but we're going to be going over a lot of different topics. What is going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. Now, if you've listened to myself or Jez Corden on the Xbox 2 podcast and some of even my previous videos, I've said for quite some time that the future of Xbox is going to be cloud streaming, that they were looking to put Xbox on as many devices as possible. Now, some people don't want to really believe that. They just want to have their console at their home and play it like they normally do, which you'll be able to. But the idea of suddenly Xbox becoming a app, per se, on a TV or on your PC gets people a little upset. And Microsoft today unveiled their new gaming cloud division. That's right, a new division within Microsoft at Xbox that basically deals with the cloud stuff. And it's headed up by Kareem Choudhry, who's a 20-year Microsoft veteran. You may remember him as the guy that came out during Microsoft's last E3 and explained all the specifications of the Xbox One X. So he's in charge of this division. And you may recall, Microsoft has been more about acquiring applications and programs like Havoc, Simply Gone, and especially PlayFab earlier this year. And this all kind of builds into Microsoft's bold cloud gaming ambitions. Of course, all these acquisitions have led to Microsoft reshuffling its gaming teams as the company prepares to launch its own cloud gaming services. We all know Phil got a promotion. He got removed from underneath Terry Myerson, who was the head of the Windows division or the Entertainment and Devices division at Microsoft. He is now the Microsoft's head of gaming and reports directly to CEO Satya Nadella. And I've mentioned this before, and Phil has said this countless times, that there is going to be a streaming service launching within 3 years, that the time is right, the expenses are right, or the profitability margins are finally there. And even yesterday or 2 days ago, when Beastfire Tim Dog was having a conversation with them on Twitter, Phil reiterated once again that we are going to see games run 100% in the cloud. And still, people are confused. They don't want to face reality. They don't understand what this really means for Xbox. And that's why I'm actually doing this video, because it's been something I've been saying for quite some time. Now, in this article from The Verge, I'm going to have them both linked so you can check it out. I really do highly recommend you read them. There's a lot of aspects to it, right? Kareem Choudhry goes on to say that Phil wanted a dedicated team focused exclusively on the gaming cloud. Those were conversations that started happening last summer, and we really started creating the structure of the organization at the end of last year. And this new division is designed to entice developers and game publishers to use Microsoft's cloud services. Ubisoft, in particular, has been using the Azure cloud across PS4, Xbox, and PS4 for Rainbow Six Siege, one of the biggest games currently out there. And even the mobile game Black Desert uses Azure, and so does PUBG. So one of the aspects of the division is try to convince, entice, and draw other developers out there to use their cloud-based services. And Microsoft is a cloud-based company now. That's how they make most of their money. The article goes on to say that the reason for this, the reason that the cloud-based stuff exists, is because Microsoft believes that there are going to be 2 billion gamers in the world, and their goal is to reach every one of them. But the question is, you're not going to reach every one of them with just an Xbox. The Xbox maybe has a ceiling of 80 million like the 360 had. Of course, it's going to be a little bit less than the Xbox One. So when you're Microsoft, a company that puts its software and services on everything, Windows is, everywhere on all different types of computers. You have Office on iOS and Android. They're a company that likes to put its technology everywhere it possibly can so it can maximize its revenue stream. So part of this initiative is to reach the 2 billion gamers that they project will be there, whether it's in 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. And how are they going to do that is important, right? It starts off first with the cloud gaming division that I just talked about, but also Xbox Game Pass. See, this is where it's all starting to come together. Eventually, in the future, Microsoft is going to announce a streaming service. That's right, a streaming service. And if you don't know what that is, kind of think of PlayStation Now, where you log in and you want to play a game and it's streamed over your internet. You don't need the console. It's just, you just kind of sign in to PlayStation and play it. Something similar is going to come to Xbox. Phil said this countless times. It's out there, black and white, for people to kind of read and understand. So the idea here is that to reach these 2 billion people, you need more than a console. The console has a ceiling, but if you can put Xbox literally everywhere, if you can get a streaming service with low latency, which they kind of already have with Mixer, if you can build that technology so that it's profitable and easy to use, and if you have the breadth of games that people want to play, you can maybe start to reach some of those people beyond what you could with a dedicated console. And don't worry, gamers, don't worry. I know a lot of you out there are wondering, will the Xbox console go away? Of course it's not. It's not going away because they want the local console there to play the games at the best. Both Ybarra said this, Phil said this recently. Even in these articles here, they talk about how the Xbox console is always going to be there, to provide the best experience possible for the games that are playing. This new kind of initiative is to just broaden the scope of Xbox and reach more gamers than they ever possibly could. So with that in mind, you take Xbox Game Pass, you have over 160 some odd titles in there. Microsoft decided to put all their first-party titles in their day and date, and eventually there'll be an app on the TV where someone could sign in with one of the Xbox controllers, which recently has Bluetooth built in, so it could talk to the TV or talk to the PC without needing the extra wires. You sign into Xbox Live. There's a streaming service. You can subscribe to the Xbox Game Pass, and you have a whole bunch of games at your fingertips, especially the exclusives that Microsoft are building. And of course, just like the Netflix for games model, that service only really works if you have games people want to play. If there aren't any games on the service that people want to play, then nobody's going to use the service. So we've all heard the rumors about Fable, about Perfect Dark, about MechAssault, about all these games that are eventually coming down the pipeline. They're all part of the initiative of Microsoft saying they continue to invest in the console space because they know that you need content for people to want to subscribe to a subscription service like Netflix. So the games will be coming. I know that's the one area that Xbox fans are kind of either happy with or not happy with. Everybody seems to be happy with the console itself, the S and the X. Everybody seems to be happy with the backwards compatibility program and a lot of the digital features they're doing on Xbox Live, like digital refunds, the digital gifting and things of that nature. Like the services and the console are all A+ in my opinion. What needs work is the games. And rest assured that they know this, they've heard this. The investment has gone in because they're going to need games for this streaming service on Xbox Game Pass so they can reach these 2 billion people that they want to sell games to, like, down the road. They say, we continue to believe in user choice, and we also believe there's room in the industry for a gaming subscription, and that's what they're going to build. A Netflix for video games would be an important service for any company with cloud gaming aspirations, but it's going to be a difficult task for Microsoft on rival platforms like PlayStation or Nintendo Switch. Now, this is the other thing. A lot of people out there, trolls, or people who just don't understand, will take this narrative that Microsoft is looking to put these games out there for these 2 billion people to reach and assume suddenly you might be able to play Halo 6 or the next Gears of War or the next Fable on a PlayStation 4 and a Nintendo. Now, Choudhry hints that Microsoft could achieve this by streaming the game to devices. He says, we're looking at ways to make that content available to anyone, no matter what device they're on. The thing here is, you have to look at what PlayStation is trying to accomplish. We already know they block crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation 4 on Fortnite. It's not in PlayStation's best interest. They opted out of Minecraft. That's right, they opted out of letting their users all play together on Minecraft because the Xbox One version, the PC version, the mobile versions, and the Switch versions all can play with each other, but it requires a login to Xbox Live. So the fact that PlayStation sees crossplay with Microsoft as more beneficial to Microsoft than to themselves, and it's not in their best interest, the idea that PlayStation would approve of an Xbox app on PSN that their PlayStation users could then access, log into Xbox Live from the PlayStation console, and stream Xbox games, kind of like just tells you all you need to know about PlayStation's stance on this. They already don't do crossplay for one of those reasons. So the fact is, just laying it out there like that there's no way Sony would allow its users to log into Xbox Live to stream games from Xbox, even if Microsoft gave them a cut of a subscription fee on the system. PlayStation's not in the business to help out Microsoft. And that's what it would do, because those users would be logging into Xbox Live. They'd probably be increasing the monthly active users, which is what Xbox is all about. And Sony's not about that life. They're not going to help one of their competitors, make more money, to garner more users, to potentially use that platform to attract other companies to market with them. So I seriously doubt PlayStation would allow an Xbox streaming app on their service. Now, the Nintendo Switch is a little bit of a different story. Nintendo and Microsoft seem to have a good working relationship. Nintendo is open to the idea of crossplay with Xbox. You already have it with Minecraft, you have it with Rocket League, and I think about 7 other games. So there's a good working relationship there. Now, in the future, could a Xbox app come to the Nintendo Switch where Microsoft gives a portion of the subscription fee that users of the Switch pay to access Xbox Live games on there? Potentially. It's the one thing that potentially could happen. But if it does happen, it won't be for a long time from now. You're more looking at the idea of an Xbox app on a TV and an Xbox app on a PC than an Xbox app on a competing platform. It's all about reaching the 2 billion users that Microsoft said is going to exist. I mean, this is what it is for Microsoft. This is the plan. People, if you pay attention to what everybody says, the mantra has always been play the games where you want on the device that you want. That's why Xbox Play Anywhere exists. If you want to play the game on Xbox, great, play it there. If you want to play the game on the PC, great, play it there. And now this is just going to broaden that. If you don't want to buy an Xbox, if you don't want to spend $400 or $500 on the latest Xbox 2 hardware, which will run games at 4K 60, that's fine. It'll be there for the core gamers to have. But maybe there's someone out there who doesn't want to invest in that, but has a PC, has a TV, would maybe like to play Fable and some of the other Xbox exclusives. Play on the device that you want to play on, the device that you feel comfortable with. And Microsoft will give those gamers that ability. if you have it on PC, whether it's on your iPad or TV, that's how it's all going to go. Because Microsoft sees, like, the people who play Minecraft, for example, they've sold 144 million copies of Minecraft. And every single one of them who own it on PlayStation, Microsoft consider those to be an Xbox customer. Now think about that. And just realize that, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, that Microsoft is moving beyond Xbox. That's the whole point of this cloud gaming service. They want to reach as many people as possible to get back as much revenue as they possibly can. Will it work? You know, that's one thing I hear. Like, Sony does it this way, and Sony is successful, and they are. They're dominating the hardware right now, the video game industry. Them and Nintendo, like selling consoles and games like hotcakes. But of course, Microsoft is kind of there trailing. So what do? You can keep on competing the way you've always competed, done things the way you've always done them, but technology changes over time. You know, there was once a time where people went to Blockbuster to rent movies and get physical copies of that stuff. And then here comes the competitor Netflix that offered streaming movies and things like that. And even back then, people were like, I like the experience of going to Blockbuster. But it doesn't matter. New technology takes over. You can reach a bigger audience that way than you could. So Microsoft might be on the right path here. It might work out for them, and they reach a bigger audience than they could ever possibly imagine. Or nobody wants to stream games. Microsoft is once again thinking pie in the sky here and are coming out with something that the populace isn't ready yet. Especially internet here in the United States isn't necessarily the best. A lot of people can't stream 4K, content through Netflix. So when they look, and a lot of people have data caps where you can only have so much data through your ISP for a month. So a lot of people are looking at this like, I don't want to stream games. And it sounds like PlayStation Now isn't very successful. So it makes you wonder why Microsoft is going down this road. But then again, you realize that Microsoft's base is a cloud service company. They have some of the biggest and the best cloud servers out there. Maybe they can do this feasibly. Maybe this launches in a couple years when internet speeds are better and people are more accepting of a game streaming service. But the idea that they're leaving Xbox, and I want to make this very clear, they're not leaving the Xbox One behind. There's a quote here in the games industry article saying, "We are not leaving the console business behind by any means. We are continuing to invest there. The premium living room experience is on the Xbox One X, and we hope to continue that for years to come. But when you think about how we're going to broaden our audience, we need to think beyond console to be successful." I mean, it's right there. These two articles, the interview with Choudhry, the interview here in gamesindustry.biz, Phil's comments to Forbes and Business Insider, his recent comments to Tim. Put it all together. It's all there in black and white. Connect the dots. Xbox is going to be an app on TVs and phones so they can essentially reach more gamers, become bigger than they ever possibly imagined. And my whole takeaway from all this is I hope they know what they're doing, and I hope they provide gamers with the games that they have been asking for, because you cannot offer a subscription service and a streaming service without any games that people want to play. And I know they know this. Which is why they are making deals like mad to get games for this game streaming service and Xbox Game Pass. And games are what matter, right, people? That's what I hear all the time on Twitter. That's what I hear all the time on YouTube. It's the exclusive games that matter. So if Microsoft brings those games to you, whether it's next year, the year after, 2 years from now, what have you, and you can play these great games on your console, does it really matter if somebody on their PC or somebody on their TV can play those games as well? It won't matter to me. as long as I can play those great games. And of course, they have to be great. They can't just be mediocre filler content. Great games is what I'm looking for, and I think Microsoft understands that. But I understand a lot of people still don't want these to come to any other platform. That if suddenly all these games do come to Xbox, but their friends on PlayStation can play it as well, then what do you need Xbox for? That's the other thing I hear all the time. If I can log in on PlayStation or the Switch and play all those Xbox games streaming, then what is the purpose of an Xbox? And to that, I would say, well, do you really want to stream games? I don't, which is why I would have a local console, which is why Microsoft had said the local console, like the Xbox One X, isn't going away because they want that there. But some people still are kind of in that mentality of exclusive list wars, and they would lose that. They would lose that if this service ever came to PlayStation and Switch, because they wouldn't be able to use those exclusive games in their console warring Twitter, YouTube battle. I don't worry about that stuff. I just want great games to play. And if this is Microsoft's direction, if they feel that this is the best way for them as a company to go forward, and in doing so provide me with more games because they have a bigger audience, a much bigger audience to reach, then I'm all for it. I couldn't care less if those games were on PlayStation or they were on the Switch or they were on the TV. I have those two systems, and I have them specifically for the exclusives. So I think a lot of Xbox fans need to come to the realization that this is happening, that Xbox more than likely is going to be an app on all devices, except for maybe the PlayStation, and just roll with it. This is clearly where Microsoft is going, and considering the ongoing debate about the games issue, if Microsoft provides the games for you, then it doesn't really matter about where you play them at. And it's interesting to even look at these articles because they talk about how, this particular quote here, Microsoft says it wants to win these 2 billion gamers in 3 ways: through games like Minecraft and Halo, through services like Xbox Live Mixer and Game Pass, and through these game developer cloud services. What's most interesting about that strategy is what didn't make the list. All of those games and services can be delivered to gamers without the need for proprietary hardware. The days where we have an Xbox business without the box is still far off. And I completely agree with that. The moves that Microsoft has been making is all basically to serve this broader picture. Xbox Live, Mixer, Game Pass, streaming services, people wanting to play Minecraft and Halo. And eventually, maybe down the road, 10 years from now, 12 years from now, maybe you don't need an Xbox console. Maybe it's just a Hulu stick or a USB stick you plug into your TV or something similar. It is what it is. Obviously, the future has been laid out today, with the unveiling of this Xbox gaming cloud division within Microsoft. It's just up to you to, understand it and either accept it or don't. That's kind of the thing here. But in my personal view, I've known this is going to happen for quite some time. And I think with Game Pass and game streaming going everywhere, it'll provide Microsoft the opportunity to actually provide content to sell to people, to get people to subscribe on that. So in the end, it's going to benefit me. But even if it doesn't, what does it matter? Because I have a PlayStation and a Switch, and you kind of vote with your wallet. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's probably pretty long, but there's a lot here to digest. Make sure you read the articles linked in the description. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, if you want to show your support for the channel, hit that like button, share this out on social media, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, hit the notification bell if you always want to be notified whenever I drop new content. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.